Peeps, I am officially 30 years old. Happy birthday to me over the weekend. Got the hair coming in. This is nice. Probably going to grow it to just honestly, maybe only two more months. And then I'm going to keep it reasonable, right? We're going to keep it reasonable this time. For those of you who don't know, before my hair was like down to here. It was very long. Well, that's it. I'm excited to be here today. I got a really cool video coming, inspired by the Leaders of Legends men's group that I host every week, and a podcast that I did yesterday, and some things that I've been thinking about that I think are really important on the topic of reinventing yourself. Okay. Reinventing yourself. So the main theme of this episode is evolution and revolution, or revolutions, impacting your ability to reinvent yourself. I just think that this is an important topic for a lot of reasons. I think that people have a hard time reinventing themselves, moving out of a box, and into a new place where they feel free, where they feel powerful, empowered, where they feel like they are allowed to go, which I find kind of interesting is that a lot of people feel like they're not allowed to express themselves in numerous different ways. And I think this is a relatable topic. And one of the reasons I wanted to discuss it was because I felt like I had a really cool example that I think will resonate with a lot of people. And I'm excited to share it. So as always, be prepared. We're going in today. We got a couple things going on. I got the whiteboard coming up, baby. We out here. Here we go. We're going to do a little bit of this and some of that. And here we go. So today we're talking about reinventing yourself, right? Or you were talking about your inner evolution being determined by your inner revolution, or revolutions, right? The amount of times that you've gone around the bend, so to speak, and feel ready to transform and grow. And so for this first portion, I just want to reiterate, like, for so many of you, the simple reality is that at some point you went from a circle to a square. You went from this human being that has infinite layers, infinite ability to expand outward and learn, bring back information, adopt new patterns, change, be whoever you want, to this very rigid and very controlled, governed box where it's like, dude, this is who I am. I am X. And that's how I articulate myself. That's how I express myself. That's how I interact with the world. And so I want you to just take a moment to do that. Like, if I asked you like who you are, so who are you? What do you say? I want you to go ahead, close your eyes, take a breath. I'll do it with you. Who are you? I am Graham Frank Lickner, and I am a cool person, and I have a lot of really interesting interests. That's fun. And I'm excited to be here today and share these awesome things. You might have something different. Maybe when you're at a party or you're meeting someone for the first time, how do you introduce yourself? I always find introductions to be so awkward for me when someone asks me, how would you introduce yourself? Or on this podcast, introduce yourself. I'm like, I don't know. Like, it's all relative. It depends. Depends on who I'm around and what they know about me, right? Context matters. But for a lot of you, it doesn't, because you're playing this game. You're playing the square game, or you're in the box. You know who you are and what you do, and what every day is going to be like, and what the years are going to bring. And what we want to do today, we're talking about reinventing yourself. We're talking about changing your shape, talking about changing your form. To match something that's more natural. And the easiest way to think about this is the cocoon. We all know about this, dude. We all know about caterpillars, which I probably will spell wrong right now, into butterflies. We all know about caterpillars into butterflies. Yet for a lot of you, when you sense the inevitability that you're changing, that change is coming, It can create what? It can create anxiety, fear, insecurity, right? All of these are normal. Why? Because somewhere along the way, we forgot how to expand outward, right? We're instead, we are like outside. What's there? I'm afraid. Like, I don't know what's going to happen. We stopped being what we naturally are, which are ever expanding uh, mind, body, and spirit connectors that have a curiosity and desire to get to know everything around them, right? You went from this child that literally touched everything, felt everything, smelled everything, to this adult that decided I am X and that's that. And what I want to do today is like remove that and start to look at yourself in a different way, right? Start to understand that reinventing yourself is just a matter of inner revolution, right? Inner revolution, meaning we're rebelling. We're going against what we are. Ooh, we're breaking free. We're moving out of this box. We're moving out of this space. And we're moving back into an infinite, expanding, and this is the way I like to describe it, sphere of influence, or sphere of awareness, or simply put, open person. That's learning and expressing naturally. That's what we're talking about here. We're talking about revolution. We're talking about rebelling. And I just want to say, like, dude, this is uncomfortable. Okay. This is uncomfortable. And this is where a lot of people turn back because, hey, like, this is really uncomfortable. I feel like I'm changing. I don't know if I want to change. But again, the point is, if you know there's an inevitability of that, then you not embracing this cocoon and understanding that once you go in, there's going to be some natural things that come with it. The first one is going to be, dude, you're going to feel like you're retreating from your life, which means what? The things you were doing aren't going to be the same. They're not going to come with you, at least for this chapter. Not forever. They're not going to come with you, right? They're not going to come with you. Two, the people in your life might not understand you anymore. They might not understand why. Like, why are you doing these things? Right? Why are you doing these things? I don't get it. Like, why are you changing? Why are you wanting to do things differently? Why am I not making you happy anymore? Why is the way in which we have our relationship no longer fulfilling you and you want to spend less time? You want to do less X, Y, and Z. There's so many little nuances within that. And I want to go into more of them. I actually am going to check my notes real quick because I had like so many other things that I want to talk about as well. I want to make sure I'm hitting them. Yeah, like I said, the first one is just resisting the change only delays the inevitable, right? Like if you are a butterfly, you will become one whether you want to or not, right? That's the first real thing that I wanted to dive into here. So I'm going to come back to it right here. Like I said, if you know that it's inevitable, resisting it is just going to continue to perpetuate these things. Like if you know you're a butterfly, if you know you're destined to be more than X, right? Which most of you, if not all of you are, then resisting that is going to feel really painful. And it could potentially even feel like you're, slowly being grinded down. Like I just can't. Like that's okay. Understandable. Very. Okay. The second thing, right? Recognizing when you're in the cocoon and becoming okay with your life changing for a season as you retreat within, conserve and deploy energy more efficiently. This is kind of, I think, the second step in what I was just alluding to right here, is that people in your life might not understand what's happening to you. That's okay, right? But more importantly, we have to become okay with this idea that we might be like going backwards. It might feel like that. But with so many things, you got to go backwards to go forwards. Right? If you look at a bow and arrow, you got to pull it back, right? To get the momentum, the power, the velocity, the kinetic energy stored, poof, propelled forward, poof, propelled forward, poof, propelled forward, right? And what happens in the cocoon? In the cocoon, peeps, the caterpillar basically draws all of its energy and resources into what? Transformation. Which in a lot of ways, I'm sure is just the ultimate surrender to the reality that it's literally completely changing form. And that requires a lot of energy. And what it really requires, peeps, and this is really big, it requires presence. Presence under the tension of change. Under the tension of change. And that's okay too. So I want us to become okay with that here and try our hardest. It's not always gonna, be as simple as that. 3 is just being aware that when you emerge from the cocoon, others may not like what they see or how you carry yourself. And I just think this is just a really important point as well, is that you just can't expect people to be like, oh my God, like I love how you are now. I love it. No. Why? Because the people in your life knew you as X, and now you are Y. Okay. That can be really confronting to them. Okay. I want you all to realize that for a lot of you, in your holding on to who you were, you're perpetuating, which I also may have spelled incorrectly. I love learning. Great. Perpetuating who everyone else is as well. Meaning, right, if you are X and you become Y and your friends are still X and they see you, you are no longer interacting with them in the same way. That reflection is going to impact them. It might even influence them. And when we talk about changing the world by changing yourself, this is what we're talking about. We're talking about giving yourself permission to evolve. And in the process, showing other people that it's safe, powerful. The other side is enjoyable. And most importantly, because this is what every human wants more than anything, feels free. You want freedom, right? That's what you are showing when you enter the cocoon, when you embrace the idea of reinventing yourself, and when you become comfortable in the rapid transformation process. And what I mean by that is that, right, the faster, and this is where we talk about revolutions, right? The faster that we move around this in this quote sphere of transformation, the more times we get to reinvent ourselves. And we're talking about reinventing ourselves. We're just talking about ways in which we feel comfortable expressing, right? Natural. Ways in which we feel comfortable expressing. So the more times that we do this, the more we show others, like it's okay to change, right? It's okay to change form. It's okay to change how I am. It's okay to change friends. It's okay to change partners. It's okay to change all the things that aren't. And here's the big thing. 100% meeting my needs and wants. 100%, right? I'm big in this. And yesterday in this podcast that I was on, we talked a lot about this, is like in business, in relationships rather, we always want to be 100% before we commit. Oh, you're now my husband, my partner, my girlfriend, my boyfriend, whatever. In business though, sometimes people will commit 90%. They're like, oh, well, it's pretty good. I know it's good. If I can make money, then I'll do it. Their heart might not be in it 100%, right? But they might be in 90, and it's good enough. Right? That's settling, folks. Whether you like it or not, it's settling. Right? And we need to be aware of this because it can be very manipulative energy because it feels good enough. It feels good enough. It's better than feeling like shit. Right? But at the same time, there's another level. And that's what we want to talk about here. Another level of freedom that we find in the continuous evolution and reinventing of ourselves. And so I just want to make it really clear for us right here and right now. When we're talking about reinventing ourselves, we're talking about continuous and open expression. We're talking about natural cycles. We're talking about moving from season to season. We're talking about moving into space where we feel 100% about what we're doing. We feel 100% about what we're doing. It's crazy that this is a crazy and foreign concept for most people. Like this is obvious, right? Like when the caterpillar gets in the cocoon, there is no, like, it knows it's going to be a butterfly. There is no going back. Why? It fucking has wings. Could you imagine a caterpillar pretending to be a butterfly after it's a butterfly? That would be really fucking weird, man. People be like, why aren't you flying? I don't get it. Like, why would you not want to be the best thing that you can be? Right? I'll tell you why. Fear of making the wrong choice. Here it is. Guilt, shame, different types of energy that are trying to bring us back. And as I said yesterday to my friend, there's three types of people. When it comes to going to the bathroom, number two, there's the first type. They go early. They sit on the toilet and wait. Ugh. And they get so anxious because they can feel it coming, but they're just like, come on, come on, come on. They're trying to hurry evolution. Hurry evolution, right? That creates anxiety. Two, people that go when they're ready. Go when ready. It's time. It's natural. I am making a decision to go. And the third, they wait till the last minute. And then they blow up the toilet. Right? They blow up the toilet. Right? And they get the transformation and it happens, but it ain't pretty. It ain't pretty. Right? And my point of this is, peeps, we don't have to do this or this. We can literally learn just to do this by accepting that what I feel and what I know is true. Like, I know that I can't stay in this job. Like, I must do my own thing one day because it just feels, I just have an inspiration for it. I know that this path I'm on is not right for me. I just know it. I know that this partner is just not the one. I just feel it. There's empty space there. There's something else. I don't know what it is. I just know. And so what we really want to learn to do, peeps, in reinventing is we need to learn to trust, but that can't happen if we don't try. We got to try. We got to do it. We got to go through it. Got to go through it to build the trust. Got to go through it to prove that it's safe. Got to go through it, right? And it first starts with this accepting, right? Accepting, right? That we can do it this way, right? We don't have to wait. I personally, all these work and there's no judgment towards either of them. Do what you want to do. But I try and continue to practice this. Just go when it's time. And with my clients, teaching them it's okay to go when it's time. You don't have to get riled up about it and you don't have to wait. You can just do it when you're ready. And now it comes with confrontation, right? Because I bet some caterpillars don't want to be butterflies. They're like, I don't know if I really want to do that yet. Like, this is a lot. I'm having so much fun with my caterpillar friends. And, butterfly is so different. We can fly. It's a different world. It is a different world. It is a different world. Right? That's what happens when you reinvent yourself. But, dude, what's freaking possible for you? I really want you to think about that. What's possible for you if you embrace your next evolution? And that's going to be the first question today. So I'm going to erase this. Perfect timing for this, right? All I want you to do, peeps, is just get your journals out or wherever you take notes. I just want you to answer this question. What is possible for you if you embrace your next evolution? What's possible? What incredible things are going to happen in your life? Like, what could open up? How might you feel? Oh my gosh, there's so much in this question. What is possible, right? This is the whole purpose here, peeps. Understanding that your imagination is infinite, which means You are infinite. You are infinite. You can do anything that you put your mind and your heart and your desire on. But it doesn't start until understanding and giving yourself permission to even think that big. So I want you to take a moment. What is possible for you if you embrace your next evolution? All right. Second question. Clarity here. Dude, what is your next evolution? What is your next evolution? It could be an inner expansion, could be an external change, could be both, right? What is your next evolution? What is going to happen? What is happening to you? Like right now, what's happening in your life that you can sense is inevitable? Like, you know, you're changing. There's nothing you can do about it. You just feel it. You know it, right? Take a moment to reflect on that. What is your next evolution? Yeah, it's beautiful, right? Because we want to reinvent ourselves, right? We want to reinvent because reinvention is a space of freedom. It's like moving into a new place. It always feels really good originally. You're like, wow, this is so cool. I'm moving to a new place. Got a whole new life ahead of me. Got a whole new world. There'll be new people. There's a new environment. There's new gyms. There's new coffee shops. There's things I like. There's new all kinds of stuff, right? Reinvention is freedom. It's in freedom, right? So what is your next evolution, right? Here it is. What do you need to accept about this change slash transformation, and why? What do you need to accept about this change and transformation, and why? Right? You might need to accept this is going to hurt me and this is going to hurt others, and I know that, and that's why it's been challenging for me to do this. But I know it's what I need to do, and I trust myself, and I can do it. Right? These are the conversations that when we have them with ourselves, peeps, we gain power. We empower ourselves via questions and the actual answers that are within us, right? Because that's what's happening when you ask a question and you close your eyes and you let yourself feel it and the answer comes out. You can't argue with the truth. And that's what we want. We just want the truth. And what we want you to do is just admit it. Just admit it. It's okay. It will be okay. It will be okay. So what do you need to accept about this change and transformation, and why? Next question. Are you ready? Are you ready to move forward? Are you ready to let go? Ready to go all in on it? Just commit. Why? Why not? Right? Either way, regardless of your answer, you're going to get clarity. We like clarity. Clarity leads to awareness. And once there's awareness, transformation has begun. Why? Because once you become aware of something, you can't go back to your original unawareness, right? I now know X. It's like, it's kind of like being in your neighborhood when you're a kid and like you don't know a street and you don't know who lives on it. And then you go on that street and you know who lives on it. You can't forget what you learned, which means it's inevitable that you're going to cross paths. It's going to happen again, which means even if you're not ready yet, you will be soon. Okay. And that's also what I want to get out here. There doesn't need to be guilt or shame for not evolving yet. It doesn't need to be guilt or shame. I will say, I don't necessarily recommend being this person, waiting to the last minute and then having a diarrhea of change. It's aggressive as hell and it can be really messy, right? And messy can be hard to clean, or you have to clean. You have to clean it up, right? It can be hard to clean. I don't recommend it, but I also don't judge you for it, and I get it, and I understand why, and I've been there myself, so I get it. So if we can get to this place, though, it just makes it a little bit easier, right? We want it to be a gentle and graceful process as best as we can, without judgment. Without judgment. right? So I want you to ask that question. Are you ready to move forward, to let go, to go all in, to commit? Why or why not? Why or why not? And the last question that I have, do you believe change and evolution of yourself is inevitable? Why/why not? I want you to really think about this question. So you can pause. I want you to really take some time to reflect on this, like write it out. If you write an essay, that would be great. Because what I want you to do is I want you to really put yourself in the driver's seat here. Like, do you honestly believe it's possible for you to change, like to evolve? Why or why not? Because if you do, you're going to have some really interesting insights on the inevitability of your life, your destiny, so to speak. And if not, you're going to have some serious things that are going to reveal themselves that you have to work through before you get to evolve, right? You're going to have to work through these things before you go in the cocoon, right? And there could be anxiety, fear, insecurity. You don't want to change. You don't want to move out from this place because you've become so safe within the borders uh, of your own awareness, and that learning new things or expanding beyond what you know can be really scary, right? But you also might be ready, right? You might be ready for new reinvention. And each level of reinvention, all it does is just bring in more life, more experiences, more different feelings, more new people, more expressions, more creations, uh, more moments, more moments, right? More presence, more peace, more power. That's what it brings. Why? Why? Look at it. Because at the same time, you're becoming more dense and more expansive. Right? It's wild, dense and expansive. Right? You're going basically two ways at once. And it's just amazing. I'm so excited for all of you watching this. So I want you just to take a moment to think about this stuff, right? Like, do you believe change in your evolution of yourself is inevitable? And then the final question, right? If you know reinvention is inevitable, how do you see yourself in your next evolution? How do you see yourself? I mean, you can draw it out. Like, feel free. If you know that reinvention is inevitable, how do you see yourself uh, in your next evolution? How do you see yourself changing? How do you see yourself growing? How do you see yourself transforming? How do you look? How do you feel? Is there a new job? Is there a new partner? Is there a new part of your family? Is there a new business? Is there a new creation? Is there a new passion project? Is there a new awareness? Is there a new flow to your life? Is there more freedom? These are all questions I want you to sit with and ask yourself. Because as we come all the way back to this original idea, talking about inner evolution, revolution, we're talking about transformation, and we're talking about growth, talking about changing your form, moving away from a rigid, controlled, governed life to a free, flowing foundation. Right? Right? And here's the thing, though, we talked about it. It can't happen. The evolution can't happen without a revolution. We got to go against the anxiety, against the fear, against the insecurity, against being grinded down, against those other feelings. We got to be open in acceptance that there's going to be an intermediate period of transition that's going to feel really weird. That's going to feel, this is really cool too. It's going to feel disconnected on either end. You're going to feel disconnected on both ends. Disconnected. Why? Well, when you're in the middle, like this is who you knew. I know. I am becoming. I am. The irony is, this is the place we actually are and we want to be. But this is who we were. And this is who we're becoming. And in the middle, we're changing form. So we're not going to really connect with either yet, because the caterpillar, when it's in the cocoon, can't crawl and it can't fly. It's just changing. And we need to become okay with the reality of that, because all creatures in our world do this. They change. And when they're in changing form, they don't do the things they used to do or the things they're going to do. They just do what's natural. If this makes sense, I just want you to nod your head. This is a really important lesson because, like I said, reinvention is freedom. And to be honest, freedom is life. Everything's free. The only thing that isn't free is the box that we put ourselves in. That's hard. It's a hard bar right there. The box we put ourselves in. Yeah, it's a big lesson. I really hope that it hit. I really want you to reflect on these questions. And just, this is a process. Okay, it's a process. And like anything else, if we can learn, and this is where this last part comes in, right? Revolutions. If we can learn to become accepting of this, right? What we're going to learn is that revolution is okay, because evolution feels amazing. It can be uncomfortable, but the end result is always incredible. And the more revolutions we have, and the faster, so the more and faster that we have these experiences, dude, the more free that we feel. And so what we want to do here is we want to remember, right? Because this is something that we know, we've just forgotten. We want to remember that evolution is natural, right? Evolution, just because your shoes aren't not fitting anymore, like your kids, doesn't mean you're not growing. I think that when we're young, it's very easy to observe these patterns because we can see them physically. When we get older, the physical form in which we take is a lot more energetically oriented than, you know, your arms are growing, or like your toes are getting bigger, or your feet are growing outside your shoes. It can be harder to see. And thus, this becomes a really easy place to stay. This becomes foreign. But when you're a kid, this is the only thing that we know. So this is a remembering, folks. It's a remembering that evolution is natural, it's nature, it's inevitable. So let's not fight it. Let's go with the flow here. Go with it. Right? And when you're ready to go to the bathroom, go to the bathroom. Keep it simple. Okay? And the process, more free, more present, more, which means more moments you get to cherish, more peace, relax. It's all good. Right? More joy, more power, more ways to express myself. And that always feels good. Right? So I think the only other thing I want you to do is just, like, you know, define evolution for you. Define your evolution, your process, the way you like to do it, right? What is your process? Think about this stuff. Like, this might be a little advanced or whatever. I don't care. I don't know who's watching this, but to me, this is obvious, and it needs to be something we talk about and have conversation around. And I think if we did, a lot more people would feel a lot less, would feel a lot more comfortable changing and growing and expanding and trying on new shoes, so to speak, instead of worrying and being afraid and hiding and waiting till the last minute to go to the bathroom, so to speak, and putting their fear above their freedom. Yeah. Oh, I'm so afraid to do this. Yeah, you know, at what cost? I mean, your freedom. So if there's anything to take away, move from this to this. And don't forget, this is something that you've already done before. Okay. Feel me? All right, folks, as always, if you have any questions, any thoughts, any comments, whatever, feel free to drop them, leave them. I think I just spoke on a lot of different things. And, you know, with these videos, this is off the cuff. It's not, I have some notes and stuff, but I want to just share how I feel and what's coming up for me and what's going on. And I feel like I did that today, and that feels good. So this is an evolution for me. It's like, moving from a place where things need to be prepped and need to be organized, and just giving myself space and permission just to free flow and draw and take all these different examples and different patterns that I see and try and put them in a simple way for everyone to understand. So if you feel like this is simple enough or you want it more simple, that's something that I would love to know. Yeah, I just appreciate all of you who are watching, and I really hope that this was helpful for you and on your path of reinventing yourself, and finding more freedom, right? And allowing the transitions to be just less scary, and just have more courage to just move through on time. And on time is just when things natural, when you're ready, when it happens, and not feel so guilty or so bad or so unhappy or uncertain about what's natural. I just want to make natural. You feel me? So with all that said, presence, peace, and power be with you all. You already know, legends find a way, and you can find more about this on podcasts, on my Instagram at graham.lickner, podcast Leaders of Legends podcast. You can find it wherever you listen to podcasts. And yeah, this is stuff that we're going over in the men's group as well. So if you're a man and you're watching this and you are interested in experiencing more freedom for yourself, and you feel like you are a leader in your life and want to move into a place where you are embracing your next evolution of creativity, of expansion, of connection, then the men's group might be a great place for you. So reach out and ask about it. Otherwise, peeps, have an incredible day. Be good and be safe. Again, I hope this was really helpful and useful. Much love always. Peace, peace, peeps.